Over the last 5, 6 years, myself being the ex-community police officer, there were different programs we brought forward in trying to curb the problem of school fights. Let's start there. And we did some analysis of what are the causes of these situations, what are the causes of these fights. And one of the main things we noticed is the social media effect that it brings with it.
I was going to tell you that. Is it because of the social media aspect that is going viral now? That maybe one is trying to outdo the other? You know.
Again, it is it is funny. Let's look back. Some of us who went MPC also.
Yes.
And
yes.
the fight was done in a couple minutes. There was no social media period. So there was no one to look at it.
There,
it died out automatically. But now it is, on a serious note, it turned into who can show it better. How much ticks can I get on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my views, whatever, on what platform? Okay, let's bring back the issue again to the fights. The fights are a social problem. Everybody's talking about what the police and everybody else is going to do about it. Public safety and prevention of this, when the police gets involved, is at the last end of it. We look at that part of it instead of looking where is the problem. What is the main core? Because this is just, the police is just putting a plaster on a broken leg. Let's talk about the parts that brings us and our vision as the police force of St. Martin into view. This is an issue that we sat with different departments, and I'm talking about education, social and welfare, you name it. The most of the schools, the school boards, and we had everyone at the table once.
Okay.
One part of it that we missed every time, where were the parents?
They're supposed to be the first. They're the first set that's supposed to be there. Then the police, and then maybe the counselors, and then the school managers, but parents did not show up?
We could never get the parents them to take this on serious, because the idea behind it is, since it's not my child, it's not my problem.
Okay.
And when you look at those who are involved in it, there's a whole other social aspect of it, of parenting behind it. And I could go down details from being young parents to parents who are alone, or those who don't have an ability to cater toward their problems of their child. And I'm talking from basic issues to AD&D to mental issues. And where should the parents go? These aspects flows out into the schools. And as long as it's not my child, police got to do something about it. From the time it's your child, you're abusing my child. So it's a catch-22.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So what the police have come with, there were some programs that the community police officers wrote, called Cops and Kids was one, and that was to cater towards those who are going from the 6th grade to the high school, as we call Group 8, showing them that there's other ways out of this problem. And in high school, we came up with TAPS, which is Teen and Police Services, mostly catered towards, we know that the schools give us a tip that most likely this child or this group are vulnerable. So out of the police part of view, that was our main point of working towards the solutions, certain solutions with the schools in this. I got to admit that part of these programs have watered off because of a lot of changes in organization, self, and priorities. But this is something that we have to bring back.
Right. Are you going to revamp it?
We have to revamp it. Part of the year plan is something coming that we have to revamp it. It was too important, and correctly so the schools pull us by the ear. Hey, let's do this. These are important things you should do.
Right.
But this is the task that only the police can deliver. What about the rest?
Right.
what about the social affairs? What about the social aspects of some of these kids? And I give examples.
Go right ahead.
I got a conversation with a lady who went to pick up her son by the school. She see a 6, 7-year-old who's getting on the bus. There's a conversation with one of these bus drivers and saying, yeah, none of the children want this girl to sit next, this kid to sit next to them. She stink.
Oh, I heard about that one.
So, most likely someone who assists her, tell her, yes, something, sit in front so nobody could bully you. But you understand that already she's being pressured. The mere fact that they're working on her ego, destroying her confidence, is those aspects that you're going to take away. One of these days she's going to lash out. And then you're going to say, yeah, it's her fault. Not looking at the aspects what brought her there.
And can you also update us on whether, what stage are you at in terms of coming with an agreement on Airbnb? And have we started to collect taxes from these private home rentals? And if not, when?
Airbnb. So we met Airbnb actually, I believe, in July. I don't know if a press release went out, but it was supposed to go out. We met Airbnb in July. We also indicated to them that we've been trying to meet and finalize our process. Airbnb has also changed their policy. So initially, Airbnb's policy was that they would not share the data of their clients, basically, and that they would then pay out on a quarterly basis to the relevant governments. And I used to hear that other Caribbean islands are benefiting from this, but in particular Aruba, and then they formally indicated, no, that is also not happening on any of the Dutch Caribbean islands. But now they have changed their policy in regards to they are now willing to, actually they want to give all information to the government and then let the government then target their clients. I did have pushback towards that because I said that, no, for 5 years, even before I was here, we wanted that process, but it was always a no. And I believe that we need a transition period of you paying us on a quarterly basis, what you receive now, the 5%, while we work on, and they're still willing to give us that data in regards to who all has Airbnbs. And we, together with them, will work on legislation for the vacation rental policy, including VRBO. So we are looking to have everybody on board, but they have indicated with their lawyers and our fiscal affairs department that we look at a holistic legislation for vacation rentals, period. And one of their main concerns were that we don't just target Airbnb and that the others in the market then are allowed. Because obviously if we target Airbnb, then the clients don't go to the other systems, and which is very relevant because Booking.com, VRBO, Expedia, all of these companies now have a vacation rental portion to their business, and which is increasing. So I did understand that part also. So that's also something that we said. By the end of the year, if you don't have some type of commitment, at least at a very MOU, then we would begin targeting and looking at legislation to then, ban others who don't commit to coming on board with the MOU and legislation. And we all agreed. And there was a few other islands there also. So it was St. Martin, Anguilla, Aruba, a few other islands also.
Okay, I'm just...
And in regards to increase, we don't have specific data. We do see an increase in general, and I do see emails coming in regarding to persons wanting to pay their 5% for Airbnb. So that was your third question, actually. So we do see that, but there's not very specific data in regards to that. But we do see a uptick in regards to queries and how to get this done. And from a few accountants that have indicated their clients are now paying their 5% on Airbnb.
real-time rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
SXM, your social and health insurance. SXM, your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
During the hurricane season, a potential tropical cyclone can produce rainfall that can cause flash flooding and rockfalls. Stay away from flood-prone areas during heavy rainfall, such as Jump Up Casino on Emil Plain Road in Phillipsburg, ATLH Road Roundabout, L.B. Scott Road from Emilio Wilson Park until Cake House Supermarket, Zaker's Gut from Petro Plus gas station until the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Welchalaken Road K Hill from Welchalaken Road Roundabout until the One Tete Loke Roundabout, Beacon Hill Road from Sunset Bar and Grill until the beginning of White Sands Road, and Rhine Road, also known as Mullet Bay Road, after Sonesto Maho Beach Hotel to the entrance of Cooper Coy from the intersection of the University Drive until the intersection of Rio Grande. For more information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit stmartingolf.org/hurricane. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
The VVD party in the Netherlands is putting on the agenda, election agenda, that is independence for the Caribbean countries. I'm sure you have taken note of that. Help me to peel a layer of this onion. Where do you, as Prime Minister, stand as it pertains to independence for St. Martin?
This is a very interesting question. The VVD party, as we know, over the years, the Kingdom Relations Committee was, let's say, the loudest speakers were those types of persons. And I see with the next election, we'll probably be seeing a resurgence of that. It's a reality we face within the kingdom. Our laws allow for Aruba. And I believe what I was updated was that at some point in the past, that there was a commitment by Curaçao and St. Martin to also align themselves post-1010 with the same changes, but of course, it requires a charter change. Kingdom Conference, as you saw in the media, and as I saw in the media, is being looked at for next year, 2024. These are the types of discussions that I believe belong at the Kingdom level. As it pertains to St. Martin and where we want to go, that will be up to the people of St. Martin. How I feel about it personally bears no weight at this moment. We are part of a kingdom. We've sworn on to be a part of a kingdom. And yes, I've heard many politicians talk about referendums regarding what do the people want now. But I know for sure my experience over the past 3.5 years have shown that a vast majority of the ones that pay attention and respond in any case were very intent when we had our discussions with the Dutch and being reliant upon the Dutch for aid, etc. But today we're in a different situation. We are having discussions with the Dutch as kingdom partners related to loans, but we're also having discussions related to what comes after the discussion and the apology on slavery. So we're in a different place, and we need to be cognizant of where we're going from here. St. Martin, for me, for the past 3 years, the goal has been to gain the financial independence, for us to be stand on our own 2 feet, that we're carrying our own budget. Currently, we are receiving assistance via the TWO for reforms which we have agreed to, and we have loans. But we are this year, correct, Minister, having a balanced budget, and we're aiming to continue with that. Once we can prove that we can take care of ourselves like we've done in the past, we then also have to prepare for disasters. We have to build up a disaster fund and all these kinds of things. And we could talk about and plan for an independence down the road, but we definitely need to do the work today to be able to gain the trust of the public to be able to manage our own affairs.
We want the men to go and have themselves checked. This thing about, we can talk about sex after prostate cancer is extremely good. But the reason why we want men to go and have themselves checked is because a lot of times they don't go because they're afraid of what happens after cancer. And they don't want to know. And they don't want to deal with the issues. And so instead of ending up with erectile dysfunction or problems having sex, you end up dead. And so the most important part is to stay alive. Stay alive, and then other things will get better because they'll fall in line. And so when I got first of all, I never had a problem, never had any pain, never had any problem urinating, never had any problem with sex, no problems at all. I used to be a blood donor. I gave blood twice a year for over 20-something years on St. Martin. And every time they take blood, they do a test of the blood. And I would get all the results of the test of the blood, so I was able to monitor my body. So that's what was my saving grace, because I realized at a certain point that certain values of my bodily functions were changing, and the PSA started going up. And that was in 2004 when I was 54 years old. So for a while there, you start to think, well, what is going on? And the increase of PSA could be more than one thing. It could be cancer, but it also could be a prostate that's getting larger, an enlarged prostate. It could also be you did a PSA test after you did vigorous bicycle riding, for instance. All of that is a cause for PSA to go up. So you have to understand your body, and you have to understand some of these things that I'm discussing right now. Long story short, my diagnosis was in 2004, and in 2005 in February I opted for, just like Mr. Benjamin, I opted for brachytherapy. But the brachytherapy that I did was one with 23 needles that they put in what I call no man's land, between your anus and your scrotum. They put 23 needles in there, and then they attach to those needles, they attach lines, hoses, and lay in a bed in stirrups. And you lay in that bed in stirrups for 36 hours. And during the 36 hours, they do 3 times, they take the whole bed and carry it downstairs, attach those hoses to a machine that looks like a spaghetti machine, and then a computer is attached to that spaghetti machine, as I call it, and that computer is being controlled by someone who, as he mentioned, sends the pellets that is radioactive through each one of these lines into the prostate. It sits for a little while, and it comes back out, and it goes in the next line. Comes back out, goes in the 3rd line, 4th line, and does all the 23 lines. And you do that 3 times in 3 times every 8 hours.
social and health insurance is SXM. Your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
With you, the new Kentucky. A combination that will surprise the most curious palates. Combining the deliciousness of KFC chicken and the practicality of a taco. With a doubly delicious ergonomic shape. Wow! Compatible with all types of bites. New Kentucky. Enjoy a double-breaded chicken breast with our secret recipe. Cheese, lettuce, and tomato. New Kentucky, the innovation that's in everyone's mouth.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Eleven-year-old Ashton Kipritich on the cello and the ukulele. Ashton, I saw you play the ukulele and I saw you play the cello. Which is your favorite?
Both of them.
Both of them?
I would never say that I dislike them.
24-year-old Shania Ward on the guitar. Her mother, Donna Gibbons Ward, watching. Every time I see you performing, you're smiling.
Yes.
You have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
And why are you smiling so much? Are you happy with the music?
Yes, I'm happy with the music.
Yeah, music is her thing. She listens to it all the time, yeah.
Why do you think music became her thing?
I think it helped her to...
Help me to learn.
Music for learning, for connecting, for sheer joy. Shania and Ashton are students at the Berklee Institute for Accessible Arts Education, part of the Berklee College of Music in Boston. Founded in 2007, it started small with a focus on autism, but has expanded to serve more than 300 people of all ages with disabilities of all kinds.
Every person can learn in the arts, can grow in the arts, can create, can in this case make music. So I think you have to start with that belief.
Rhoda Bernard heads the Institute, which she says is the only such program offered at a college or university. The goal to develop and share new ways to reach and teach this community while expanding the field of arts education.
Arts educators are generally trained to teach the way they were taught. There are long-standing traditions in how the arts have been taught, and those...
Meaning what? I mean,
like the conservatory tradition of what a private lesson looks like. Often the arts can be more of a teacher-centered kind of approach where the teacher is showing what they want and the students are responding. And to make it more accessible means providing more entry points, providing students with more ways to engage with material and more ways to show what they know and are able to do than just the conventional.
that means meeting the individuals where they are, incorporating aspects of special education into teaching music and the arts, in private lessons, and also in group settings. The Institute holds a wide variety of classes every Saturday, including many ways to play together: rock band, chorus, an iPad ensemble, and more. There's also a 2-week summer camp.
We're creating a place where they're accepted for who they are, where they belong, a place of yes. These are folks who hear a lot of no. This is a place where it's yes, you can. So there's a constant asset-based belief in all of the students who hear so much deficit language. So that's the first. But then,
That goes to who they are and how they're accepted in the world.
absolutely, and you're creating that environment and then providing them with what they need and watching them flourish.
Ashton Kipritich, diagnosed with autism when he was nearly 2 years old, didn't speak until he was 7. He still has difficulty processing thoughts into speech. But here, his mother, Kelly Phillips, says teachers like Miles Wilcox really get it, offering love and patience as well as training in how to hold a bow. And music somehow brings out something different in her son.
Still, he struggles with auditory processing disorder. And so it's really, there's a lot of delay in getting answers from him. And so we still see that. With music, I don't see that happen at all. It's just there. He's very spontaneous. He plays in different keys. He'll sit down and play something he's heard that he's never seen the music for.
Did that surprise you?
Very much.
Yeah.
And I have to say, school has not really been easy. Language acquisition has been exceptionally difficult. But then you see in music, he will sit down and be part of an ensemble, knows where to come in, knows timing-wise, knows it all. And it's a little baffling to me, when you compare those two things.